Good afternoon, esteemed viewers. I am Prasad Patkar, editor of SME Venture and CXO Experts, here today with a uniquely enlightening session for Startup Dunia. On our show, we have navigated through realms like health tech, food tech, retail tech, and fintech. But today, we transcend into a space where spirituality interviews with technology. And today, joining us is visionary Mr. Ananda Tirtha Dasa, a trustee of the Bhaktivedanta Book Trust and the influential force behind Transcend, a transformative spiritual app. Mr. Dasa is armed with an engineering background and invaluable spiritual insights. He exemplifies a blend of tradition and modernity, efficiently steering the trust operation towards new horizons of transparency and productivity. Today, we are here to unveil the mysteries and motivations behind Transcend, a monumental initiative making ancient spiritual wisdom accessible in this digitally dominated age. Welcome to Startup Dunia, Mr. Dasa.
Thank you, Mr. Prasad, for the wonderful introduction. Thank you.
Pleasure to have you. Pleasure to have you. Mr. Dasa, diving right in, the digital realm is usually about racing against time, hustling, bustling. But here we have Transcend, a serene pause, a kind of a profound space. It's like finding an oasis in a digital desert. Could you just illuminate the journey of what led you to creating this unique sanctuary, you can call the app or the digital library?
Well, Prasad, the answer lies in your question itself. Like you said, everybody is involved in the digital race now. And our founder, Srila Prabhupada, used to say that if you want to catch a thief, who's running in a car, you can't go on a bullock cart. So you need to have a car. So we all are, kind of a thieves. We have, we are taking the wrong goods and running, actually. So catching up with the digital age, people spend a lot of time, as you know, on mobile and a lot of time in commute. Practically 5-6 hours a day is spent on mobile phones. People, touch their phones, 300 times a day. So the idea was that, why not use that medium to enhance their spiritual quotient by giving them content which is authentic and which is on the go. That is, they can listen while in the commute, while they are cooking, anytime they could log in and hear. Because reading is, I would say, a habit which is on the decline, as you know. Very, very few people are there who still do a lot of reading compared to the large number which are always on their phone and they just want to see or they want to hear. So we are just using that medium to give them all the content which is there. The Bhagavad Gita, the Bhagavad Puran, which is the 18 volume, which has 18,000 slokas in it. And so it was definitely, that was the inspiration behind starting this project, Transcend.
Okay, excellent. I mean, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued by the synergy of tradition and technology that you're blending in Transit. So it's like ancient wisdom waltzing gracefully, with the modern innovations that we're talking about. Sir, how did you manage to maintain the sanctity and essence of Srila Prabhupada's teachings while tailoring them for a tech savvy audience? How do you make this wedding of traditionalism with technology? How did you make it possible?
Well, what we did is we ensured that all of the Bhagavad Puran, 18 volume Bhagavad Gita, firstly, the project involves, we involved about 153 voiceover artists because it involved 11 different languages. And there are 8,000 hours of audio in this Transcend app. And anybody in the industry knows that it takes about 9 to 10 hours to curate 1 hour of audio. So we have spent about 80,000 hours just on producing this audio content in 11 different languages. I'm not counting the proofreading or the proof hearing, I would say, that went into it. So coming to your question, how did we maintain the sanctity, is that we ensured that every single word from the book has been narrated, and nothing has been missed out, nothing has been added. So, it was the proof hearing and then going back and correcting was a very voluminous task. And in order to maintain, again, the sanctity in terms of the pronunciation of the languages, because it involved Sanskrit, we got 3 Sanskrit scholars who were reciting all the verses. Like, for example, in the Bhagavatam, there are 18,000 verses. In the Bhagavad Gita, there are 700 verses. And still there are so many other, all about 20,000 verses are there in this app. So what we did in each of the language packs. So what we did is we got these Sanskrit scholars who are expert in the recitation and the pronunciation of the Sanskrit words, so that, the voiceover artist from the respective language, they may have their tone of, while they narrate, they may have mixed their tone of language into the Sanskrit. So we wanted to keep that very pure. And these slokas have been inserted into each of these languages. About 20,000 slokas have been inserted into 11 different languages. So that is a kind of humongous task that we ensured has gone into it. So that's how we maintain the sanctity in terms of, the content, in terms of the pronunciation, and, several 4 levels of proofreadings have gone through. And even if the one paragraph has, not one paragraph, one sentence has been missed out, we had to re-record it from the voiceover artist and again go back and insert it.
Okay. That's tremendous, bridging the past and the present, and that's involves a comprehensive, voluminous work. Sir, let me jump to the query of tech and spirituality. I mean, this is tech and spirituality dance. Speaking of an very unusual yet very fascinating duo, that is the NFTs and blockchain, dancing with spirituality. It's like watching 2 different worlds sway in a harmonious ballet. So how do these seemingly distant entities complement each other in the entire arena or the tapestry of Transcend? How do you do that?
So again, the idea behind going into an NFT was because there are about 300,000 active users in a month on one of the blockchains like OpenSea. What to speak of others? And a considerable amount of time is spent by youngsters and NFT enthusiasts on these platforms. So I don't want to be left behind. Let it be there. We may not have a lot of traction now, but then it is available now. Our content is available on NFT. They can purchase, the books. They can purchase the Transcend app. They can, a lot of other features are there which is available on NFT. So the idea was that we wanted to put our footprints there so that it's available for people in the blockchain to access this. Why leave them out? Why leave the folks who are, they are mining right now? They are mining cryptos. Now they can mine spiritual content.
Correct. Exactly. Yeah, sir. I mean, yeah, that's precisely why do you leave them out? I mean, this is a mixture of tech and spirituality. So rising above the tech challenges, I mean, every creative journey is graced with its own set of challenges and learnings. What were some unexpected hurdles, or what were some enlightening moments that you encountered while marrying these spiritual traditions with cutting edge technologies?
Oh, I'm glad you asked that question because you see, like I said, there was this 8,000 hours of audio to be produced, so, and 600 ebooks. So on the part of the ebooks, we faced multiple challenges because these are characters, junk characters were getting thrown up here and there because of the conversions into EPUB and then later on. And the challenge which we faced is that these are scriptures. So we couldn't, have some character here and there. It could probably, change the meaning of the word and then change the whole philosophy. So we had to be very careful to ensure all those things were corrected in terms of the EPUB. As far as because 11 different languages, it has its own challenge in terms of the fonts and, display. As far as the audio is concerned, like I told you, it is the proofreading and getting back to the artist and ensuring that the file is rendered completely. with the background music. That was a huge task. It started during COVID, and like I said, 8,000 hours, 80,000 hours has gone into just spending time on making the audio, leave alone the hearing and the other proofreading and the correcting part of it. So several challenges we faced on the tech side. We faced many challenges in terms of the challenge was the security aspect. We wanted to make this accessible to all people, but at the same time, we didn't want some fringe elements to just download the content which has gone through so much of effort and use it here and there in the name of whatever freely being available. So we had to ensure that proper digital rights management systems processes are followed. I got an ethical hackers also to ensure that the all the servers and the websites and the app, all of them are properly taken care of in terms of security. We did multiple vulnerability assessment and penetration test on this app, and that was a big challenge. And then the other thing was that to ensure the UI UX, we didn't want, because the content is very authentic, spiritual. At the same time, we didn't want to lose out on the UI UX experience. I wanted to ensure every single page which you see, Prasad, on the app, there is a user story that has been formed. So we had a wonderful team, tech team, and we ensured that all the UI UX is at par with the industry standards, so that the user has a very comfortable flow through the journey while they're hearing or reading Transcend from Transcend.
Correct. I mean, you mentioned about the user stories. You have touched ancient wisdom. You have marred it. You have synchronized it with cyber security in its SN, which is very futuristic. Sir, let me just touch on your app must have touched countless souls, each carrying a unique story. Is there any particular feedback or user experience that kinds of echoes in your mind, which reaffirms your vision and purpose of what you're doing?
I'll give you one live example. In Baltimore, there are many people who have gone from India to US, as you know, and many of them are Uber drivers. Okay, yeah. So there was one Uber driver who wrote to us saying that after coming from India, I never imagined I would be ever able to read Bhagavatam, because my parents used to always tell me that you should read Bhagavatam. So now he's saying every day while in the Uber drive, he's completing 3 to 4 chapters just by hearing that.
Amazing.
I have a lady who was very tensed up with her teenage kids, and they wouldn't study, and normal teenage things. I don't want to elaborate, going to parties, late nights, and so she was extremely tensed when she started hearing the Bhagavad Gita and the Bhagavad Puran. She became more calm, and then the kids came back to her and said, "Mummy, are you on drugs? There's something different. Why are you so calm?" So okay. The thing is that the books, the content contains a proper explanation of the various, like for example, the Bhagavad Puran, it contains a deeper meaning of the various pastimes that were there. Usually during Mahabharata or Ramayana, we come across only the stories, the melodrama, but there is a deeper meaning to it, which is applicable to our day-to-day life, which we don't generally catch on to, and we just are stuck with the story part or the melodrama of it. And, we see on the TV and, the whole crying and other things, but there is a deeper meaning to it, which is actually exhibited in these books, by Prabhupada.
Yeah. Voices from the digital cosmos. Sir, moving on to the next section. I mean, language. I mean, it's a very powerful tool that shapes thoughts. So, as Transcend speaks in diverse linguistic tongues, how do you envision, the universal melody, which ought to be resonating with hearts across the globe? So, how do you intend to do that?
So, gradually, as we upscale, we plan to include other languages. Now, this Uber driver example, which I gave you, is a Bengali driver, and he took the Bengali language pack.
Okay.
Just imagine, because that's his mother tongue. So you understand
Yes.
things more deeper, if it is told in your mother tongue. So we don't want to leave out. So I have already going to, in the next, very soon, we'll be adding Amharic language, which is the Ethiopian language.
Okay.
So we have a couple of books done in Amharic language by devotees in Africa. We will be adding those books, and slowly we will be covering the other, apart from the Indian languages. We will be also covering the world languages, especially Spanish, which has a very large
Yeah.
reach.
Mm.
So
Yes.
that's how, language in its native thing, people definitely, it's a big advantage.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. Yeah. Future proofing spirituality. I mean, we are in an ephemeral digital world where kind of trends come, they evaporate. How is Transcend? I mean, how it is crafted to be a enduring sanctuary of spiritual illumination? How do you intend to do that?
You see, a banyan tree has deep roots, so
Yeah.
it stays even during storm. There are trees which don't have much deeper roots. So, when a storm comes this way and fall. So the content, we cannot catch up with, the changing world. There is a
Yeah.
saying that, you can't, we have no control over what happens to us, but we have a control over how we can respond what happens to us, how we can respond to what happens to us. That's our responsibilities. If you split the word responsibility, the ability to respond.
Yeah.
So we have a very solid content which has stood ages, and it's not meant for just this age or this era. It is an eternal knowledge. It is an absolute truth spoken in the Bhagavad Gita, in the Bhagavad Puran. Our job would be to make it available in whatever medium comes. Tomorrow, if it is not audiobook, it is something else. We will ensure that it is available in that format. But to ensure that the readers would stick on to it, that we can't control, because it depends on their integrity, their seriousness of taking up to the spiritual knowledge, and vis-a-vis the attractions and the distractions that they have. So choice is always ours. We have a choice, and when we make better choices, we get better results. And the better choices come when we have knowledge. So they should know that in order to make better choices in life, I need to have this knowledge. And when they get that knowledge, they make better choices, and from there they get better results. So, and I'll tell you, Prasad, people who have encountered divinity, who have experienced reading this book and hearing this book, there's a tremendous change in them, and they don't want to give up that. They know that it's easy to give up this, but I want this path is they want to cling on to that path. It's a higher taste that they develop. It's just like if an urchin in the street is given a nice thali of food, he doesn't have to give up searching food from the dustbins. It is he'll just jump onto the thali. So in the same way, what we're looking for actually are pieces of glasses. Actually, when we get this inner wisdom and this knowledge, you will be so content that you won't want to give it up. So they have to taste that actually.
Correct. Amazing, sir, because you have mentioned the modern philosophies, as well as you have also mentioned about the ancient wisdom. You've spoken about choice. I mean, it's all about making the right choices. So let's get to the heart of Transcend. I mean, if I or if anybody were to navigate through Transcend, where do you feel would be the heartbeat of the app, which resonates most profoundly? What would be the kernel?
The audio part.
Okay.
So you see, the entire Bhagavad Gita is just 30 hours, which means that if you give 1 hour every day, in a month, you are going to finish the entire Bhagavad Gita with the Sanskrit sloka, the translation, and a small explanation from that.
Okay.
The entire Bhagavad Puran, is about 355 hours. So, in a year, if you give 1 hour, you're done with the entire Bhagavatam. And like I told you, there are a lot of insights in the stories from the Bhagavatam which are mentioned in these books. I could give you an example. For example, when Lord Rama was going to get coronated. Just at that time, when he was about to go to Dasharath's palace, he was informed that he is no more going to get coronated, and he has been banished from the kingdom for 14 years. So at a time when they were getting dressed up, both Lord Rama and Mother Sita were getting dressed up and going to go to Dasharath's palace for the coronation ceremony, they get the news that they are banished from the kingdom and they are no more going to, he's no more going to be the king. Now, such an auspicious event was about to happen, but a very inauspicious news was given to him. So how did the Lord react? Now we see in Mahabharata, Ramayana, we see all the melodrama, we see all the crying and other things. But Lord Rama immediately looked at Mother Sita and said, this is a great opportunity for us to go to the forest, associate with the sages, enhance our spiritual wisdom. And she responded back saying that, yes, we can spend more time with the nature away from the praja, away from the populace. Now, at that, in that yuga, they are talking of being away from the praja and the populace. We are always addicted to our mobile phone. We are constantly in touch with everybody. So, so the learning in this is that how he converted a very inauspicious event into an auspicious activity.
Yeah.
So this is a learning that we have. We have nothing to worry because the Lord is seated in the heart, and with a different perspective, just like they say, when you change your seeing, your scene will change. When you change your scene will change.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. Sir, I mean, that's amazing. Let me just move to the last bits. Personal digital sanctuary. I mean, lastly, in this vast universe of Transcend that you're giving out to the people, where does your soul find the moment of solace and inspiration? I mean, this is a personal thing.
Yes. So even during the journey of Transcend, we faced a lot of obstacles. But if I'm speaking to you and if you are listening to somebody else, you won't hear me. So we all today have this fashion of saying that, listen to your heart. But, what is there in the heart? I will tell you a very short story. The Lord Vishnu, when he killed Hiranyaksha, that is the brother of Hiranyakashipu. So he killed him, and Hiranyakashipu became very angry, and he wanted to immediately kill Lord Vishnu. So Lord Vishnu was in no mood to fight. So, and Hiranyakashipu, as a demon, had an amazing ability to be anywhere in any planet, underwater, under the mountain, inside the mountains, over the sky, travel to another planets. So if Lord Vishnu went, no matter where he went, he would be able to find him. So Lord Vishnu said, I will go to a place where nobody will look for me. And that is the heart.
Yeah.
So Krishna says in the Gita, Hridesha Arjuna Tishtati, I am seated in the heart. So when we say, listen to your heart, all our answers are there in the heart because the Lord, the all-knowing Lord, is seated in your heart. So divinity, spirituality is not about external dresses. It's not just about the rituals. It's about feeling the divine within you, knowing that the Lord is seated in the heart and taking that intelligence and guidance from him. With this kind of knowledge, because see, Prasad, your body has that innate intelligence. When you eat food, you're not deciding how to digest it, how to convert it into different, it is taking care of itself. There are 2 gallons of blood being pumped out of the heart every day. You're not monitoring that. It's just happening. So there is an innate intelligence that is taking care. And that innate intelligence is also seated in the heart. The body has, it has. So just imagine you tuning to that massive intelligence, keeping away, when we say keeping away our ego, our intelligence, our limited intelligence, and surrendering and, being in sync with that massive intelligence, you have a vast amount of, so you will become fearless. You won't have that feeling of insecurity, no matter what happens in the office, or, somebody said something, or somebody is trying to take over, somebody took the contract with, mentioning some other, you will not feel insecure. You will do the right thing, and you will depend on this innate intelligence, which will mystically and miraculously make things happen. So my journey with Transcend and with all these projects which I did has been that reciprocation from the Lord within. So faith builds on faith. So just like if you ask me, where is this film theater? Now, if I tell you, okay, go out of the gate, take a right turn, take a left turn. Now, if you decide that, okay, I'm not going to go at all, I don't trust this guy, you will not reach the theater. But if you say, okay, let me put some faith in him, he come out, then you take a right turn. Oh, he mentioned about a hotel. Okay, the hotel is there. Then you take a left turn, you mention a library. Oh, that is there. So faith builds on faith. Then finally you reach the theater. So when you start experiencing this reciprocation, your faith builds up.
Yes. Yes, excellent, excellent. I mean, this is quite enlightening because you have also given examples of how our biology functions. I mean, how the spirituality, how this innate intelligence that we carry. Dasa sir, I mean, this has been an immensely enlightening conversation, and honestly, I could have continued this spiritual and technological exploration for hours. However, time is our banding factor today. Rest assured, we hope to delve deeper and uncover more gems from Transcend in our future interactions. Uh, uh, is there anything that you would want to just say to our audience or to the people out there? It could be, I mean, it could be pearls of wisdom. It could be just a just a quote or a proverb or some philosophical signing off.
Well, I would say that they would need to quieten. I gave you the example of if I'm speaking to you and if you're listening to something else, you won't hear me. So in order to hear the voice within you, the voice of the Lord in the heart, we have to spend time every day to quieten ourselves, so that we hear the voice within our heart. And the best way generally to connect, that is why mantra means to free the mind. Man means the mind, and tra means to free the mind from all the constant chatter that we have. So we chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So when we chant the mantra, we are able to free the mind, and then we are able to just like if you see a mirror which is filled with dust, you won't be able to see your face. You will have to clean the mirror. So in the same way, in order to clean the dust in our heart, when we chant and we meditate, we are able to hear the voice more clearer and deeper.
Excellent, excellent, Dasa sir. I mean, this has been truly. I mean, for whatever time that I've spent here, I have gained a lot of knowledge. I've gained a lot of information about myself while I'm speaking to you. But I think it's time. I mean, signing off from this enriching session of Startup Dunia. I am Prasad Patkar with a heart full of gratitude and a mind brimming with newfound knowledge. We look forward, Dasa sir, to the continuous confluence of tradition and technology guiding souls towards a harmonious existence. I am personally going to myself research about Transcend. I'm going to promulgate it within my community, and I would like to know more about it. So it was great having you, sir. It's done. It's time to sign off from Startup Dunia. Namaste. Thank you, sir, for coming.
Thank you, Prasad, for your association. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me.